Hey guys, this is Matt Brunet, and welcome to Movie News Weekly, hosted by FilmBook. Now, before we begin, let's take a look at what we got in this week's news, which includes Death Day weekend doing well, To Fire a Predator, Spies in Animation, Rocky is also directing Creed, a Disney project is gone, Gal Gadot going Antifa, Sony's being, well, Sony, Beetlejuice might get some life, From Meat to the Macabre, and the closest thing to Medea in the White House. So with that said, let's get things started. Blumhouse certainly had a great Death Day weekend. Happy Death Day became the new hit movie to hit first place at the box office this weekend by earning about $26.5 million. While it may seem like a low number that would get on top of the box office, this would count as a major hit for Blumhouse as it took advantage of the Friday the 13th weekend, and the film had a low budget of around $5 million, along with the help of favorable reviews. Meanwhile, last week's winner, Blade Runner 2049, continues to gather a shockingly low amount of money for the type of movie it is by getting down to second with about $15 million, where it only managed to beat the other new movie out this week, The Foreigner, which landed in third on its first weekend with less than $13 million. Following from behind includes It with around $6 million, The Mountain Between Us with more than $5.5 million, and both American Made and Kingsman: The Golden Circle tangled up with each other by both making more than $5 million each. I can guarantee you that this will be one of the biggest movie news stories of the year. After almost 40 years of being one of the biggest names in Hollywood, Harvey Weinstein was terminated from being the co-chairman of the Weinstein Company. The action was taken days after a New York Times article revealed that for several decades, Weinstein has been committing acts of sexual harassment to many women in the film industry, and as the source stated, has even reached 8 settlements with these women. Soon after his firing, many people took a stand to condemn Weinstein and the actions that he has done, including the Academy completely removing Weinstein's involvement with the company. Even Democratic politicians, whom Weinstein highly supported all these years, took all the money he contributed to them and gave them away to charity. The Weinstein Company is currently taking care of damage control after the events to make everyone know that they are officially unassociated with Harvey, while the man himself is preparing a lawsuit against the Times. Even without DreamWorks Animation, they're still gonna try to be big in the cartoon world. 20th Century Fox announced an animated film that will be under their new Fox Animation banner, Spies in Disguise. The movie will be based on the 2009 animated short Pigeon Impossible, where a pigeon gets stuck in a secret agent's nuclear briefcase and almost cause global chaos. Blue Sky Studios and Churnin Entertainment are on board to oversee the project, and it will mark as the directorial debut of Blue Sky Studio veteran Nick Bruno and storyboard artist Troy Quayne. While no plot details have been announced specifically about the movie or how much of the original source material will be included, it is confirmed though that Will Smith and Tom Holland will be the stars of the feature. Spies in Disguise will open its operation on January 18th, 2019. Rocky will not only be Creed's coach, but he will also be coaching the movie. Sylvester Stallone has been confirmed to not only return to the movie as the legendary Rocky Balboa, but he will also be the director of the feature, since the helmer of the first film, Ryan Coogler, couldn't make it to the sequel. While the story of the film is still kept under wraps, it is hinted that the film will be looking into Adonis Creed, who now has to face the guy who killed off his father back in Rocky IV, Ivan Drago, with both Michael B. Jordan and Dolph Lundgren reprising their roles. While more known as an actor, Stallone had previous experience in directing movies, including Rocky II, III, IV, and Balboa, the 2008 Rambo, The Expendables, and his directorial debut with the 1978 film Paradise Away. Creed 2 will be coming to theaters sometime in 2018. Aww, and I was looking forward for this one too. Walt Disney Animation Studios officially announced that the upcoming animated film based on Jack and the Beanstalk Gigantic is cancelled. The movie where Jack would team up with a little girl giant was directed by Nathan Greeno and Inside Out writer Meg LaFauve, and would have included songs written by the Frozen songwriting duo Robert and Kristen Anderson Lopez. Ed Catmull, president of both Disney and Pixar Animation Studios, stated, "It's impossible to know where we begin a project, how the creative process will unfold, and sometimes, no matter how much we love an idea or how much heart goes into it, we find that it just isn't working. With Gigantic, we've come to that point. And although it's a difficult decision, we are ending active development for now. We are focusing our energies on another project that has been in the works, which we'll be sharing more about soon, now set for Thanksgiving 2020. I got a feeling that after Impeachment Day, we'll be seeing a lot of dead Nazis in movies. Gal Gadot is currently in talks with Mad River Pictures in order to be one of the stars of Ruin. Directed by Justin Kurzel, who previously did the film adaptation of Assassin's Creed, the film will tell the story of an ex-Nazi captain who now pursues to kill all his former teammates in order to make things up for his terrible past after World War II. While the role of Gadot is unclear at this point, the producer's main mission, in order to officially get things started with the picture, is to find an actor that can play the captain. However, there could be a possibility that Christian Bale could take part if interested. One of Gadot's next big upcoming features will be the return of her big summer hit in the sequel to Wonder Woman, which is set to be released at the end of 2018. Yes, because it totally worked when Hollywood made a movie based on Battleship, so another board game should be a no-brainer. Sony Pictures is in talks to gather the rights to the Klaus Tuber game Catan and turn it into a movie called The Settlers of Catan. While no director has yet to be attached, Sony did gather both Gail Katz and Dan Lin to be producers, while Blaise Hemingway will be writing the screenplay. Katz stated, "We're excited to be working with Sony to bring the iconic world of Catan to life. As huge fans of the game, we're struck by the endless possibilities of stories that it could inspire. It's not every day that you have the opportunity to work in a world beloved by millions of people and expand its story for the screen." Currently, Hemingway's credits include some upcoming animated features based on toy lines, including Playmobil and Ugly Dolls. Sony is hoping to turn Catan into a major movie franchise. At this point of production, someone just started to say his name once. We'll see if it'll be said 2 more times. Warner Brothers has hired Mike Vukadinovich to rewrite the script of Beetlejuice 2. So far, the only other people that are on board with the project are David Katzenberg and Seth Grahame-Smith under their Cat Smith Productions banner. For a long time, Warner Brothers had been looking to make a follow-up to the 1988 horror comedy, and while nothing is official with their involvement, director Tim Burton and Michael Keaton expressed good interest in working together on the sequel. The two are currently working on the Disney live-action remake of Dumbo, set for March 2019. Vukadinovich's previous works include the recent sci-fi drama Rememory, and has written a script based on the classic Disneyland ride, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. A movie they will go shoot, of course it is a reboot, they're hoping to get some loot, The Addams Family. MGM has announced that they will be remaking The Addams Family as an animated feature. The screenplay was already written by Pamela Pedler and revised by Matt Lieberman, and Conrad Vernon is on board to direct the film. Originally created as a single-panel comic in The New Yorker, The Addams Family became a major phenomenon with an unforgettable theme song, several TV shows, both in live-action and animated, and a couple of movies in the early 90s. Vernon is an experienced veteran in animation, where many of his credits come from DreamWorks Animation, including the first 2 Shrek movies, Monsters vs. Aliens, and Madagascar 3: Europe's Most Wanted. His most recent hit was at Sony, where he co-directed the adult animated film Sausage Party, which gathered $140 million on a $19 million budget. 2 names that you'd never expect would have something in common: Dick Cheney and Medea. Tyler Perry has been hired by director and writer Anna McKay in order to appear in his biopic of former American Vice President Dick Cheney. Perry will be playing the role of 4-star General Colin Powell, who is also the Secretary of State in Bush's administration that played a big role in the 2003 Iraq invasion, wrongfully thinking that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction in that area. He will be appearing alongside Christian Bale as the lead, Sam Rockwell as George W. Bush, Amy Adams as Cheney's wife, and Steve Carell as Donald Rumsfeld. While no release date has been set for the feature, it is said to be in production with Annapurna Pictures, Plan B, and Gary Sanchez. Tyler Perry will be seen next in the sequel to Boo! A Madea Halloween, coming this Friday. And that's all I've got for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to head on down to film-book.com for all the latest movie and TV news, along with their columns on the box office and their theatrical release schedule. Also, you can follow them on whatever social media you'd like. And while you're at it, you can follow me on my YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter if you're more into stuff like animation, Disney, and my weird sense of humor. If you are watching this on YouTube, then hit that like button and come subscribe to us, and also leave a little comment on what you think on the news this week. If you were listening to this on a podcast on iTunes or any other podcast service, then don't forget to rate and review what you just heard. Tune in next time for another round of Movie News Weekly, and until next week, see you later, dudes!